Hi.
Hi. If you're on
I'm
YouTube.
For those listening and just bear with us for the last 10 seconds. Rob's got his handy dandy setup here in studio, and we are recording on for a YouTube video as well as the podcast. So once again, I'm Spider Dan,
And I'm Hot Rob.
and we're here to talk all things wrestling and anything else. Came up with that title off the cuff after the vicious slap heard around the world to Liv Morgan last night, and how well that Crown Jewel and NXT 2300 slapped. So thought I would try to segue that. Don't know if
Slap happy.
if that kind of worked or not, but yeah. Rob got slapped with a bit of the cold, flu, and something or other. We don't know. So glad to see he's back. He saw me for the first time.
Look at this guy. Who is this guy?
Yeah,
Who is this baby
you
face
all
over
see
here?
me now for the first time. The library staff know who I am, but other than that, it's been a fun adjustment to have the beard shaved.
No more facial recognition for this guy.
Yeah, it would be my
thumbprint only.
It'd be like Bianca cutting her hair, I think, if I had done that. So, but I thought it was a pretty good weekend. I just realized that I have forgotten my lovely little baby Goldie at home.
Oh,
it's hanging up nicely in my living room.
Imagine that, eh?
What a great!
I even brought you some stickers. You could probably decal.
Oh, look at that, Mareep Pokemon right off the top. Perfect. Yeah, I'll have to figure that out. That'll be a lot of fun. Oh, you can probably hear me better if I talk like this. That's good. I'm getting used to this YouTube and this thing video here, so bear with me. But yeah, Crown Jewel was great. I didn't think there wasn't anything really super exciting in terms of it was exciting. It was very good. I did have a lot of shock moments because let's be real, we fucking sucked at picks.
It was a tough one, you know.
I think I won with 3-2 or 4-3. We really
it was a close one. We shit the bed on
it. It was close, and funny enough that the two main events or the co-main events for the championships were worth 2 points each. Rob and I got a big old donut for both of them. Pick of the night.
I like donuts.
Pick of the night for me, Naya. Didn't happen. He picked Tiffany.
That was close, though. Come on. When you were watching that, when you saw that come out, they were like, "Oh, Rob's right. Oh, look at this. They're both down." And they even said it at one point. Oh my God, is she going to cash it in? Who's she going to cash it in on?
I guess because I am maybe tempered to WWE's expectations, even though Triple H era is amazing, right? And he slow burns everything. I didn't actually think the cash-in would happen the way it was going, but then it made me think Nia was winning, and then they swerved it back to Liv, and I went, son of a bitch, because I was really shocked about that, and I really was shocked, and call me foolish, sure, but you picked it too. I was shocked Gunther lost. I really thought Gunther would win. It was their chance to, not that the world title is not built up really good. I think it's done a great job. But this was kind of the icing on the cake, the cherry on top, to be like, okay, Gunther's promos have talked about it being pushed, and Gunther saying it's the better title. They want my title. Cody then, I think they showed it during the pay-per-view. So this is even after we've picked, right? They showed it during the pay-per-view where Cody had an interview with Kathy Kelly on his bus saying, if Gunther wins, he might be the more desirable title for the Rumble winner. And he goes, what does that leave Cody? Almost acknowledging that which champion, they want the bigger champion to be in the main event or the last match of WrestleMania. So kind of interesting that that went around. I really thought Gunther would win, and he lost clean. And Cody got the big win. Liv got the big win. It was kind of odd seeing a heel and a face kind of celebrating and getting their rings and all that stuff. But Gunther at least shook his hand, and then on Raw said, we have to do better. So it's kind of weird because they're almost making it seem like, I'm not going to say face heel turn. That's not how WWE rolls these days. It's very enveloped in the story. But it's kind of adding a layer that what's going to happen next. And spoiler for Raw, we know that Damian Priest has won the Fatal 4-Way, so now he is getting his quote-unquote, his rematch with Gunther, or as it were, for the title. Even though I really actually thought Dom should have, because Dom beat him the previous Raw, right? I thought that was the idea, so I guess that was just to get himself in a Fatal 4-Way, and it didn't work. But whatever, we got there, we'll figure it out. I don't know how it's going to go down. But yeah, interesting to see that. We got both title matches wrong. That could have swayed the pool. And the opening match, which I thought would main event, almost consider Hell in a Cell. Maybe the Hell in a Cell should have been the main event, and the Tribal Warfare should have been first. Now the Tribal Warfare was first instead of main eventing. I got the OTC bloodline. Sorry, you got the OTC bloodline. I got the solo bloodline, and the new bloodline won. Solo pinning Roman, which I thought was perfect. I kind of thought he would pin somebody because I went with the philosophy that War Games might be the final thing for like the Ulafala and everything, right? The way they're kind of building it. So it was a good way to start, but yeah, I then I guess Rob got kind of quote unquote screwed by the Randy Orton Kevin Owens match never happening. KO still would have won. Let's be real.
Come
But
on.
funny enough, I was saying to my buddy Derek, because I went to his to watch it. I was calling. I said if I was going to put no contest, I really thought it was going to be Bronson and Seth.
Yeah.
I was also shocked that Breed took the pin there, and you got a point there. That's what kept us live for the until the Randy Orton match. Really, I think it's what it was. Or no, that was the United States title decided our fate. That's right. You needed Carmelo to win, and I just needed Carmelo not to win. And LA Knight made work of that by BFTing both of them.
Yeah.
So I was a little worried that Melo might have won though, because it would what a great way to have the best of
That
seven
was close
the
though.
best of seven match got nullified by LA Knight. What a great way if Melo had pinned Andrade. Knight loses the belt without getting pinned, and Melo
Yeah.
gets the final. I did think that going in, but they
But come
clearly.
on, let's talk about that match since we're there, right? Did Melo not have like 2 pinfalls? Come on. That was so close.
Well, I mean, it was close, but
It was really
he didn't
close.
have it.
But you thought he was winning, and you're like, no way! It
Uh,
was so close.
okay. All I'll say is this: I
I mean,
knew.
if they went to the tape up to the referee box, or they went upstairs to the box, they would be like, yeah, yeah, he got it, he got it.
Listen, this wasn't like Dawn Marie roughing last night, okay?
Oh, come on,
but
man, she's a veteran. Come on,
no, I
dude.
get it.
Come on,
It's
man.
just the counting. But sorry.
You try and jump up and down with little booty shorts and he like boots like that.
That has nothing to do with counting if you're a referee. No.
Whatever. Come on, man.
I think the point was I knew Andrade wouldn't win. That was I think more definite as the match started, and which feels bad because I think both him and Melo deserve a U.S. title run, and
I
maybe they're going to
agree.
run into this further. I Out of all the things that happened at Crown Jewel, I will say I have the biggest question mark. Now it's on the lower end of my interest. It's there. It's not like it's not. I'm not interested. Right? There's very few things that don't interest me. Even the Final Testament with Miz and the fucking creepy ass video we saw with everything has interest right depending on the card. But I don't know what they're gonna do with LA Knight. I almost like I know what they're gonna do with Mello and Andrade, but LA Knight just the way he ended SmackDown is kind of like a tweener, like he kind of he ended the match without thing. I don't know if they're trying to make him like Austin Ash or something, but yeah, he's the only one that I really like. I don't know what's gonna happen. Like Sammy, you could guess, you could see
Yeah.
how they're going to do that. The Judgment Day is always there. You see now they're planting seeds for Liv and Raquel to maybe go after the tag titles, in which we both had predicted Chelsea and Thing to win. I actually just thought this would have been a good way for them to lose so they don't get pinned. I really could have seen any team won. It would have been really cool if the NXT girls got the win, but nonetheless, maybe now this is how you do it, and you make Liv a nuclear hero because she took out Rhea last week, based on Rhea having a real life injury. I later found out, so which kind of sucks again. But you know what? That might work out. This blood feud between Liv and Rhea might actually go the fucking distance to WrestleMania when you really look at it. Like they might be able to pull this off. I just want to see Liv finally wrestle people that aren't named Rhea Ripley, although they've done a good job, and now we get that with. I'm jumping around here, but they get that with Io Sky winning the women's battle royal. So which is good, and I actually wouldn't mind if Io were to win, but I think if Liv is going for the tag titles potentially, and that could be a great way to now everyone wants the rift of Bianca and Jade. I'm not saying I don't want it. I don't need it anytime soon. Like build it
Not yet.
properly
No, I don't need it yet.
because Bianca was, and I talked about this when I watched it live, but I think Bianca, people forget, was a heel in NXT, and she was decent. She was pretty good, and I think she only became a face because obviously she's married to Montez in real life, and the Street Profits are good guys. So I think that kind of just morphed that way, and then once she won her Rumble and everything, the rest is history. She's been like she deserves another Mania main event. I still am hoping Rhea Bianca becomes a main event of a Mania at some point, maybe even the final match of a Mania. That's only technically happened once with the Becky Charlotte Ronda triple threat, but. But yeah, I let's talk about Jade Bianca for a minute here because obviously they're getting showcased a little bit more. Raw last night they got or 2 nights ago they got eliminated by Liv and Raquel. That's clearly going to build into something. Probably at Survivor Series, maybe this is where you do the women's war games. You get Raquel and Liv and some friends versus Bianca and Jade and some friends. Might be a good way to do that. Where do we see? Everyone thinks Bianca and Jade will be a rivalry. If I'll throw it to you first. When will that match happen? We're not. Let's not even go with if. When will that match happen? And what's the dynamics of that match in your opinion as of right now?
Oh, I say that's even too far to even think about.
It is, but right
Yeah.
now today, if you could guess, or maybe give what you want. What would you want to see?
I don't want to see them feud. Not
Okay,
yet. I don't want to see. I want to
so you're
see.
kind of like in my boat.
Yeah, like I like what they're doing right now. Like, look how long it took for like the Usos to, you know what I mean, or even the Bloodline to split. Like, they got a long time for this to go. And look at like first like the New Day. Look at Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Like, it's inevitable that they're going to be, splitting up. It's just a matter of when and how, right? And that's taken forever. So, I mean, let this go on for a while. Let's see what happens.
Doing that so I can maybe look at Rob a little bit
Yeah,
better.
but
This
I'm in no
this
rush to see
microphone
that.
is
But when it does happen, I think it's going to be pretty textbook.
yeah.
It's going to be pretty textbook. It's going to be, I came here to stand out on my own. I'm not here to be in your shadow. And then it'll be like, Bianca will be like, like, I kind of helped you with the success here. You rode my coattails or whatever. But I see that kind of going on the storyline. But I mean,
Yeah,
but there's more current storylines that are headed towards a feud or like a turn. And that's the thing with that New Day. Every week they're teasing this, and it's like getting closer and closer and closer.
I do think that maybe they're going to do something where Bianca is the heel potentially, but then she's
I
such
think that too.
she is such a motivation to young girls, especially young black girls. She posted on her Instagram all the girls that dressed up like her, like Halloween.
But they
I,
did it with Bailey. Don't forget
they did no, they did for
that was a
sure.
shocking heel turn.
They did for sure. I just think that I'm looking at it from Jade thing perspective. Is it better for Jade to be a face, or is it better for Jade to be a heel? I don't know.
Both.
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
well,
there's lots of time, right?
and Liv did throw the line where watch because Bianca will stab you in the back, and then
Yeah.
Bianca slapped her.
But
So
look how quickly, like, look at Jay. You know what I mean? Jay and Jimmy. Like, look how quick you can turn from a face to a heel, and people love you just like that.
I
Like,
get it. I think my
it's
question is, do they have enough firepower around behind Jade right now that she can
no,
pull off if you split the crowd as it
no.
were?
I think her first major feud, personally, I want to see it with like I don't know, Raquel would be good, or even Charlotte come back.
They could always revisit Nia too.
Yeah, that would be a good
They
one
still
too.
have that one a bit
Yeah,
too in the
but I
bag.
think Naya's time is coming close to being over. I mean, they're just really selling this Tiffy storyline, right? So it's a matter of time before Tiffy's champ. And did you see a segment where Naya took the belt from that kid, the crowd?
So that's the one that Nia gave Tiffy.
Yeah,
Okay.
there's some kid with a pink belt,
Yeah.
women's championship, and
Yeah.
she snatched it from her, and she went and gave it to her. And she said, "Here, this is your title. This is perfect for you." And it's
Oh my
like, she's
god.
just setting this up, right? So obviously we know that she's going to have a custom belt. It's going to be pink. It's going to be. We already know that. I
I'm a
mean,
little disappointed with the Nia thing only because Nia is such a force, like literally irresistible force, being her, her tagline and everything. Is that she's been pinned twice in the last month. I really expected a little bit more from her reign.
yeah, but don't forget, none of this is about Nia Jax,
I get it. It's just
right?
Nia's done well. Like if there was honestly, if there was a most improved wrestler award,
Yeah,
Nia gets it 100%
yeah,
for
yeah.
me.
I agree.
So I don't know. We'll have to see how that goes. Um, the women, it's interesting. I like Tiffany, but honestly, you know what? It's really not on the top of my list here in terms of like what I want to see going forward. Like
Mm.
it's above the LA Knight stuff, but the Bloodline stuff obviously is top. The both world titles are top, right? I love what they're doing with. I love that the Kevin Owens angle. I missed a bit about it live, like when he was turning and he fought Randy and all that stuff. This is a heel Owens I can fully get behind, and it's so different because he believes he's right, and it's just that psychosis of it, and he will likely, I think, face Cody in the next month or two, maybe for a rematch where now it's true face versus heel, and Randy's going to be involved at some point. And you know what? Honestly, if I had to predict today, maybe Cody Randy is a potential Mania match. I don't know. Like we talk about The Rock, we don't know if The Rock's gonna be involved. Will Rock face Roman? What will they do? There's a lot of things here, and I
Yeah.
can't just say it
I kind
100%.
of hope there's not another big, like, I mean, I enjoyed that big super fight, with everything and Undertaker
For
and
sure.
everybody. Like, that was great, but I don't need to see that again. I think they did that just for the 40th, but I mean,
Yeah, I don't think I'd like to think they won't. And I also said if for The Rock too, it seems like he'd only wrestle at Mania. You're making SummerSlam 2 nights. Go big with the first SummerSlam, and maybe do Rock Cody or Rock Roman then.
mhm.
Right? You if you want to establish that as another major force, like they always say, it's the second biggest one, even though it's only 4.5 months after Mania.
Right. Or,
And Mania's later this year too. It's a few
yeah.
weeks into April. I think they did that for weather circumstances. It isn't a dome, but for the people that are going, because it's basically like it's an experience. I went to Los Angeles, right, or Toronto, maybe not because it's so much more bigger now. But you're there. You could go there for 4 or 5 nights in a row, right? So it's like the Super Bowl. You want to go somewhere nice where you put money into the economy and tourism and everything, as it were. So yeah.
Yeah, but I can see Gunther dropping the title and then him and Cody being WrestleMania.
Oh really?
Yeah. I could see that happening.
Oh, it's Groudon.
Because
This
I
is
don't I
so
don't
good.
see I don't see it being the end of their
Go
feud or
Phillies.
whatnot, because people are going to be talking about this. Oh, Cody beat him clean, and then Gunther's going to be like, "No, you didn't." And now that they're showing, okay, Gunther's not this unstoppable force. He can be beaten clean. Cody beat him clean, so they're getting us. You know what I mean? They're getting us used to the idea of Gunther losing, right?
I,
So he's going to lose this title, and then it's going to start a feud for him and Cody, and I think that'll be a great match at WrestleMania. And then who knows? Maybe Gunther wins. Maybe he beats him or close to beating him, and then whatever, and they continue that going.
I'm gonna go with what I said this weekend, talking to Derek. Gunter Cena at WrestleMania.
Can you imagine that? Eh? Or
They
but
threw he
they're
threw the
they
line about John Cena,
but they're
and
also talking about Goldberg.
yeah, you know what? I'm just, you know what? I'd rather just defer comment on that right now. I don't want to see Goldberg again.
But did you hear him announce that this is
I
the year
did,
he's?
I did. He'll have a retirement match,
Do you think
but
it'll be Crown Jewel 2025?
honestly, I have no thoughts on it. I will say I don't think they want to go back there because they don't want to repeat the Undertaker thing, and it's like just go somewhere different. I hope they don't do it Mania. Maybe if Atlanta's got a show, like not a pay per view, but well, they won't. No, they'll do it on a pay per view. They won't do it on a Raw. I don't know. I don't want to see that old fuck. Like I'm done with him. You know what I
But
mean?
you'd rather see Cena Gunther than Goldberg's
Oh
Gunther.
yeah,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, I don't want Gunther coming anywhere near that guy.
What if it's Goldberg and Cena,
Fine, but
and
no,
that's
but you
their?
know what? I don't know. I'd rather Cena put somebody over. Like he put Theory
He
over,
has
even
been for
though
the last 5 years.
no, well, I get it, but I'm saying like to go out, and it's not going to be his last match, right? He's milking all of 2025. But what I'm saying is for WrestleMania, I don't think he needs to win. It just adds another notch on the belt, like he's wrestled 22
What?
years or whatever. But to him to face Gunther, and now Gunther,
Right.
honestly, Gunther could wrestle, and I say this even though I just said no Goldberg. Gunther could wrestle anybody, right? I just think it could take away from Gunther if he faces a veteran. However, they'll book the story in a certain direction. Maybe the Goldberg thing I think was just like a fucking it was a shot to Brett to make Gunther that much better of a heel,
True.
right?
It was part of the dialogue for the storyline. But I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I don't. But to have them. So, what's the closest pay per view to the end of the year? Is that Survivor Series?
Survivor. No, well, no. Technically now it's Saturday night's main event.
Okay.
They're gonna. It's an NBC special, but they're gonna treat it like a pay per view.
So Cena and Goldberg, they're gonna probably, I would say, they're not gonna have their retirement match in March. They're gonna wait till the very end of 2025. So it could, you know what I mean? So we
I
got.
don't see Cena Goldberg being like you think to
No,
put them
I'm just
together.
saying, like, no. I'm gonna say they're gonna keep it.
Oh, both their matches will be at the end of the year,
Yeah, I would say it makes sense, right? Keep it closer to there.
or you do
Um,
Goldberg at SummerSlam. It is 2 nights.
yeah.
Okay, if Goldberg's gonna have a match, they'll do it at Mania or SummerSlam. I'll say that much. I think that's
You
solid.
don't think Crown Jewel next
No,
year?
no, no. Unless the Prince asked for it. But after the Taker thing, I don't know.
Hmm.
So that I'll say it's one of the 2 night specials. That's what I'll say. And maybe SummerSlam more than WrestleMania because WrestleMania is kind of like you don't want that he's taking food from someone's table of someone who earned it. You know what I mean?
True.
You still can get set.
That's why I say Crown Jewel, because
Yeah.
it's kind of like a. It's just kind of like a fucking. It's like
Honestly,
the All-Star weekend for
honestly,
like the
you've
NBA.
talked me into it. Like I would actually like that because Saudi already kind of has that murky kind of thing. I will give the local that crowd credit. They were hot for Raw.
Yeah, for sure.
They cheered properly. They cheered well. They were hot for the main event. They made the main event of Crown Jewel. That was a spectacular crowd. I
It
will
was
say
good.
one of the best Saudi crowds. And yeah, they get wrestling. Like they've created
This is
something there.
awesome.
Yeah, they've created something there for sure. I especially saw like the Sammy Uso, that was great, right?
What a great
It's
segment.
almost like they wrote the next line for Jay. I don't know if Jay would have said it or not, but he goes family, and they knew where he was going. It's so fun when you know what's about to happen because you help put a hand in that, right? So having said that, yeah, having said that, they still remember Goldberg Taker, and it's like I don't know if you want to do that, right? Goldberg did. I think Goldberg's last match was against Drew, if I'm correct in the Thunderdome.
Mm-hmm.
It was fine. It worked. But again, I don't want to see Goldberg doing anything crazy. What's he going to do? Is there someone worthy? I'd hate if it was Cody because it's Atlanta.
It's got to be something different. I
Uh,
agree. It can't be just,
yeah, run it back. Have Brock come back for one more match and Brock Goldberg
hey,
again.
there's rumors. It's not the craziest thing I've heard.
Yeah, no.
It's not the craziest thing I've heard.
I've spoken more about Goldberg than I'd like to on this podcast, so we'll table that for
Bill
another.
Goldberg.
Yeah, we'll table that for another time. But at least I guess AEW's mad that they won't ever get him. uh, but talking about everything else, let's see here. Yeah, I think we've covered most of everything right now for what's happening. We've got NXT. We'll go over NXT. We
Yeah,
didn't
let's
really
do
talk
it.
about that.
NXT last night, Wednesday night.
Yeah, it is last night. I know we're filming this on a
Oh yeah, it was
Thursday.
last night,
Yeah,
Wednesday night NXT at the 2300 Arena.
yeah. Done on Wednesday, obviously because of the presidential election. Which that one I definitely don't want to talk about. But I just got the numbers back. It looks like they did just over 600,000, 620,000, 0.17 in the demographic that matters. And they actually beat out Dynamite, who only had about 500,000 and 1 point lower in the 18 to 48.
I was switching back and
Uh,
forth, commercials and stuff like that. But man, AEW was. Ugh, I just.
I watched the first match and then some live, and then I watched the rest today. Uh, the NXT. So I think we both said, Rob and I both said, we didn't think it didn't blow the socks off of us, but it still was solid. I like the ECW TNA infused theme to start. It never. The funny part about this night was they really did a good job of like making it feel ECW-ish with even the arena. Like it looked
Mm-hmm.
like they didn't have scaffolding, obviously, like the old one did, all that, where guys would jump off it. But just the way they had the ring set up and the lights and everything, it felt like you were in that arena again from way back in the day. And that's even before my time. I just know from all the vintage stuff and all the crossovers. They did a good. Rhino was probably the spot of the night for me. How they
Yeah,
did
me
that,
too.
great,
What an unexpected surprise.
unexpected, good surprise,
Unreal.
right? You knew
And because
somebody was
he just
coming.
got inducted to the TNA Hall of Fame, what, like
Exactly. Yeah.
last week?
Yeah, exactly. So that the RVD segment was good, although it made me a little sad because you could clearly tell he can't take a bump.
Yeah,
They filmed him off camera.
he's a little stiff.
You
Yeah.
thought he was going to kick Wesley, he didn't, but still he was in his gear. They like I liked how they did the segment where he's talking about Kalani's flexibility, and then she
Yeah,
posted on Instagram how she did the same splits he used to do because he used to do that Zen
that
kind of
was cool.
stuff.
I
Yeah,
saw that backstage
that was a good
segment.
throwback there. Obviously, Bubba Ray was involved. Don Marie in the beginning. Francine looked great. She looked
Hmm.
even better than I think when I first saw her like 15 years ago on TV. So yeah, they had a lot of those good throwbacks there. I guess just when it came to the hardcore stuff, it didn't feel obviously like that visceral Bingo Hall
No,
style.
I mean that was a good hardcore match, though.
They were, and
I mean, it
it's a
was.
WWE style that works. And funny enough, the spot where Jada just kind of dropped down and did like that booty drop was so effective because that ladder just fucking shattered. Like
Yeah,
it was no
I
height,
was worried about that spot because the ladder wasn't all the way on the
wasn't
rope,
all the way on the rope, and
and
they
I was a
and
little worried. I'm like, ooh,
she was really close to it, but it worked out.
the
And
prop department did their job well with that.
yeah, I was kind of torn on who would win that. You see, Lola is really good. Her MMA background speaks for itself. Those kicks were amazing.
Yeah,
Like you can tell. it goes back to like when Riddle would fight or someone Ronda, like you know when someone's trained in something when they can connect with stuff like that, right?
Well,
Like
and also
they
for two females to do that
yeah.
match, I mean, it was for them to pay tribute and to do a hardcore match.
First, apparently the first female hardcore match in NXT history.
It was great. I liked
So
it.
they've had other steps, but yeah, for that kind of stuff, I think it worked out really well. Wesley and Evans was good. A little spotty at some points, but it worked out in the end. The RVD was a little weird. The men's tag, wow, that ended kind of quickly, quicker than I thought. But obviously they did the spot. Devon came out with the table. That was
That's
very
right.
nice,
There were
right?
tables.
That there were tables. That was a nice
Yeah.
nostalgia there.
Trick
And then
couldn't find any under the ring,
yeah,
and then next thing you know,
you knew it right there when that happened. Yep. And and then Nunzio, we like to have
yeah,
Nunzio show
I
up
didn't see that coming.
and he still looks good. He looks older, but he looks good. And they just kind of had a kind of small one-off match there. Worked out well, kind of bring that around. And they're feeding something where Sean Spears is looking at Tony next. So we're going to go through more of the division. I also like the backstage segment with William Regal talking to Lexus and then his own son Charlie. Right, really good stuff. I want to see how they're going to involve him just for him to announce War Games because they need to do that.
Mm-hmm.
He's back on the docket now. No more handcuffing from Tony, where he couldn't say it last year.
I love how he came out in the throne.
Yeah,
the other week. Yeah,
yeah. But and then the main event with the 10 women, and it just showcases the best women's division in wrestling. I
that was
missed
great.
Zaria's debut match last week, but you look at Jordan Grace being the powerhouse. She did a really good job,
They could
and
be a great tag team.
well, you say that, but then she speared Jordan by accident.
Yeah, right.
Still got the
Well,
pin on my Roxy with
either way, tag team or they'd be a great feud.
yes. So it's interesting how that went down because we had a lot of the Fatal Attraction was feuding. Kalani gets a rematch next Tuesday to Fallon Henley. You had the stuff where Jordan just kind of dominated in there. Cora had her spots, but it came down to Jordan was going to take over, tag Zarya in. Zarya does some moves, has Roxy where she wants, misses Roxy, hits Jordan out, knocks her out of the ring. But then still, usually you don't see this. Zarya still dominated, and I don't know her finisher, but it's almost like an inverted F5. Did
Yeah.
it and pinned Roxanne. So now two people, Stephanie Vaquer and Zarya, have pinned Roxanne. I'm curious if one of them will get a title shot at Deadline on December 7th. They announced Saturday, December 7th. Sadly, I'll be at a Montreal Canadiens game, so I will miss that one. Go the one time they put it on a Saturday. The one time it's not on a Sunday. So I will sadly miss that one, but we'll still do predictions and everything else too. It will be after Survivor Series. Survivor Series obviously is my next title defense, but once I reclaim that, the Deadline will be the one after. So we have 3 more title defenses in 2024. We have Survivor Series, Deadline, and then Saturday night's main event. But yeah, Zarya gets the pin, stands on top. It's a good match for 10 women. I think they all got showcased well. It's hard to always do that when you have 10 different people. But there's so many different storylines. Zarya now has a potential to get for the title. So does Vakir. And now, how does Jordan Grace fit into it? Especially when Jordan is no longer the champion over in TNA. So maybe there's something there.
I
Maybe
hope we see a lot more of her in
maybe
NXT.
Jordan shows up, and we're going to start with so already we're going to have the War Games teams getting built up on Raw and SmackDown, and we're going to have the Iron Survivor qualifiers start next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder if they got to have. I'm assuming Roxanne and Trick will have their matches, 2 Iron Survivors, and another match, maybe a tag or something else. But you could have 10. Well, 5 of those 10 women will likely be in that match. Does Zarya get in it? Do they let Jordan Grace get into it? And if anyone remembers how last year's went, especially the men's, where Trick Williams was down, Braun Breaker was up, 3? And Trick Williams came in and just got 3 pins in the last 15 seconds. It was wild. So these matches are really fun. I'm looking forward to Deadline. Sadly, I won't be able to watch it live. I don't know when I'll get to watch it, but we'll definitely cover that too. So there's a lot to look forward to. Didn't really talk more about the slapping. I guess that was kind of that's a weird tag. So we'll slap each other or whatever. We'll do that too. I'd bet Rob that if he ever for a title match we could slap each other, but Rob's face would be beat red. So
yeah,
now I got slapped the beard right off of you, so you match me.
Yeah, right.
He's like when he saw me, he goes,
maybe we could have a stipulation prediction show.
I ruined it. I should have already. I should have kept the beard on.
Beard versus beard.
That would have been good.
That would have been good.
In a live shaving.
Yeah, beard versus beard.
Yeah, it'll grow back, but it's not the same now, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah. So no, I'm looking forward to it a lot. SmackDown will be good tomorrow, and then we go from there. The Fallout and everything else. The Bloodline. If Sammy shows up and we start getting them to talk. We'll lastly leave with this. In terms of the men's War Game match, are you feeling 4 versus 4, or do you think they're going to add a fifth on each side? They did add a fifth last year with the Drew thing.
I don't know.
They usually go 4 or 5.
Too early to say.
Too early to say?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Too early to say.
Because I got to think if they add a fifth, could Cody get involved? Although I think he's kind of done with them.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think the 4-on-4 might
work.
be enough. Might be enough right now.
Or is there other bloodline members in
That
the wings?
that could they could be introduced during the match,
Fair enough.
or you know what I mean, the night after or something. But I don't think
Yeah.
anyone's going to be introduced to change the 4-on-4.
Yeah.
I see that coming.
Yeah. Well, we got a few weeks because it's the final weekend of November. It's a week after, I believe, American Thanksgiving. Usually, it's the American Thanksgiving tradition. It's in Canada, Vancouver. They've long deserved a pay-per-view. It's going to be a lot of fun. Maybe my Chelsea Green pick. Maybe she'll have to win a title now. Although
I hope so.
now with the Liv Raquel thing, I don't know. Now that we've kind of swerved the way that's going to go, but maybe Chelsea goes in the War Games. Like she'll get some kind of spot. She'll get something good happening for her.
She deserves
being
it.
the hometown girl. But yeah, a lot to look forward to here. It's a lot of fun. It's good to be back in studio with Rob. You don't just get to hear me talk. And yeah, check us out on YouTube. What's your YouTube channel?
Robbie D Comedy.
So Robbie D Comedy for YouTube and his Instagram. Check out me at Spider Dan's Web. I will try to be posting more videos on just Pokemon Go or my Pokemon card content. And then I think I broke a pack last week, and I haven't posted that yet. I'll post that video, that little small video, on, although people, if they see it, on our Spider Dan Hot Rob, just because I wanted Rob to see me sans beard in person, and it worked. I parked next to him.
Yeah,
I honked at him.
Who is this guy?
And it took him a minute to process. There's so many people. Even like last night, I was playing Pokemon Go in Victoria Park, and one guy who I've seen once or twice, I don't know him. He goes, "Didn't you have a beard last week?" And I go, "No." And he just looked at me and go, "Yes."
He's the Pokemon evolution of himself.
Yeah, so that was kind of like my calling card. So now I need something else. But it's been a lot of fun for that. So change is good. And yeah, looking forward to see what happens next. I think I'm done rambling right now. I'm going to take a look at these awesome stickers. Maybe put one on the belt. Oh, Pikachu with a crown and scepter. These are so good. These are so good. Maybe I'll show these on my channel. We'll see what Rob got me, and then we'll go from there. But for now, this is Spider Dan.
And Hot Rob.
Signing off, and we'll see you on the next one.